Friends, I am Dr. Surajit Ghosh. Welcome to my channel, Dr. Ghosh Presents. Signs, symptoms and uses of Homeo-Remedy Rhus Tox. Complete name Rhus Toxicodendron. Short name Rhus Tox. Common name poison ivy or poison oak. This is the plant poison ivy. This is medicine, one of the specimen of medicine. Therapeutics: abortion, beriberi, chilblains, cough, cyanosis, dengue, GI disorder, that is diarrhea, dysentery, enteric fever, headache, skin disease, eczema, erysipelas, herpes, measles, rheumatism, that is lumbago, sciatica, neuralgia, paralysis, eye affections, ear affections, sleep disorder, sprain, tongue affections, ptosis. So many diseases. Actually, this list is incomplete. There may be many other diseases which will be covered by this medicine. Spheres of action: it predominantly acts upon mucous membrane, lymphatic glands, muscular and fibrous tissues, ligaments, tendon, etc. Acting like an infective agent, it produces typhoid-like fever. It produces means this medicine produces typhoid-like fever in healthy man. That is, it is when the person suffering from typhoid-like disease, this will be the medicine. Acting on nerves and spinal cords, it gives rise to paralytic effects. That is, in case of paralysis, this will be acting as an effective medicine remedy. Right-sided hemiplegia. Hemiplegia means paralysis of the one half of the body. Infantile paralysis from exposure to cold, damp, mucus discharged acrid, rusty red like meat water. This is the very characteristic symptoms of Rhus Toxicodendron. Its discharge are always acrid, rusty red like meat disorder, and it is also scanty. The discharge is not too much. Constitution: being an acute remedy, it is not of much importance. Hot or chilly? Very chilly patient. Miasm, sore eyes in the backdrop. Diathesis: rheumatic and gouty diathesis. Generalities of Rhus Tox: mental, physical combined. Rhus Tox is one of the Dr. Nash's trio restless remedies. Cannot stay in one place or position, must continually change position or place to obtain relief from pain, especially at night. Other two restless remedies are arsenic and aconite. Subjects suffer from great rigidity, stiffness, lameness, pain on the first movement or waking up from the bed in the morning, relieved by walking or continued motion. Problem starts after overstretching of muscles, tendons, swimming in the lakes, rivers for a long time. Worse feeling during rest at night in damp, rainy weather. Better covering warm heat applications. Great sensitiveness to open air. Putting hand out of bed cover, that is, putting hand out of bed cover brings on cough. So sensitive. This is the trio medicine. This is the trio medicine, that is aconite, arsenic and Rhus Tox. Dr. Nash's restless trio. Generalities Rhus Tox continue. Double dot means continuation. Rheumatism, cold season. Right-sided hemiplegia, sensation as if parts gone to sleep. Pains, tearing, shooting, stitching, worse at night. Most of the symptoms grow from left to right. Fear, worse at night, cannot lie in bed. Affections of nerve, spinal cord cause paralytic effect. Paralytic means actually paralytic effect. Subjects suspicious that someone might administer poison to kill them. Mutter delirium in fear. Despair of lives. Like to stay alone, want to commit suicide by drowning. Very sad. Weep a lot but cannot say why. That is, if you question him, why are you weeping? He cannot give any answer, but he is weeping. Very forgetful, cannot remember recent events even. Dream of performing toiling labor as if rowing, swimming, doing hard labor to perform duties, etc. This type of dreams come to him during night. Crave cold water, but if taken, problem worsen. Profuse thirst, but no appetite for food. Mucus discharge acrid, rusty red like meat water and musty. Already this is said before. Affected parts feel sore, bruised, stiff, pain as if flesh torn apart from bone, crawling, numbness in paralyzed part. While describing these symptoms, mind it, there may be a particular symptom may be repeated twice, thrice. That doesn't matter because for various reasons it is repeated. The same particular reason relates to different regions, but every region, while describing the symptoms of the region, that symptom will naturally come. But mind it, that doesn't matter. The same symptom if said twice or thrice. It means that that is important. General modalities. Modalities means in which situation it is better or in which situation it is worse. Better from heat, body movement, warm wrapping, massaging and rubbing, support of affected parts, stretching of limbs, change of position and place, warm, dry weather. Worse, that is go bad. Wet, cold air, catching cold while body is heated, exposing body at start of movement, during rest, before storm, excessive labor or stretch, excessive stretch, excessive overweighting, weight in muscles, excessive weight in muscles, after midnight riding, taking cold drinks. So particular symptoms, head symptoms of Rhus Tox. Vertigo when stupefying, then stupefying headache, head heavy, loose feeling in brain, worse from jar, feeling as if a board strapped across the forehead, must lie down, worse from least chagrin. These are very stretching exercises. This is weightlifting but huge weightlifting. This is stretching but huge stretching. Eye symptoms of Rhus Tox. Pains behind eyeballs, worse from movement, palsy inflammation of eyes, eyelids agglutinated, while opened with force, warm water gush out, photophobia, that is cannot tolerate light, paralysis of eye muscles, vertical diplopia. Diplopia means double vision. Diplopia may be two types, vertical and horizontal. It is vertical, that is one image will be seen above the other. Horizontal means one image will be side to side, beside one another image, that is horizontal diplopia. Face symptoms of Rhus Tox. TMJ painful. TMJ means trigeminal, sorry not trigeminal, it is in here, this is joint, this is a joint, temporomandibular joint. This joint is called temporomandibular joint. Temporomandibular joint, the joint lies just below our ear, below our ear. The joint which is constantly working while we talking, eating, laughing, crying, singing, whatever it may be. When the jaw is working, this temporomandibular joint is in working. This joint is most active joint in the body and perhaps the the time, if you compute time, this is the most used junction of the body. Temporomandibular joint. Painful. Facial neuralgia. Dislocated jaw. Cheekbone painful. Stiff, swollen face. Lips crusty, cracked at corner. Lip crusty, cracked at corners. Herpes on lips. Acne rosacea. This is acne rosacea. No symptoms of Rhus Tox. Water dripping from red sensitive tip. Fluent coryza. Nose bleeds. Worse at night. From stooping at stool with no relief. Violent aching in bones of nose. Hot breathing. Nostrils burn. Now this is the picture of, actually this picture is facial neuralgia. Facial neuralgia means this is the neuralgia of trigeminal nerve. Trigeminal nerve is one of the 12 cranial nerves, and this trigeminal neuralgia nerve or facial neuralgia has got so many names. It is called prosopalgia, it is called tic douloureux, it is also known as suicide disease because a lot of person commit suicide to get relief from the maddening pain. It is so painful. It is so painful. Here are symptoms of Rhus Tox. Parotiditis. Parotiditis. This is parotid gland here. That's inflammation. It's known as actually mumps. So you can call mumps parotiditis same. On the left side with fever, ear lobules swollen. Like note the stage of ear lobules. Swollen earache with sense as if something were inside. Discharge of bloody pus from ear. Mouth symptoms of Rhus Tox. Sores on teeth. Teeth feel loose, long. Bloody saliva. Tongue dry, red. Cracked at the center with red triangular tip. Coppery taste. Bread taste bitter. Throat symptom Rhus Tox. Red, puffy, itching fauces. Tonsils covered with yellow membranes. Tonsils covered with yellow membranes. Sore throat with swollen glands. Swallowing of solids. Saliva difficult to glow. Actually, saliva difficult means saliva is very difficult to take inside. Esophagitis, that is inflammation of esophagus from swallowing corrosive matter. Esophagitis from swallowing a corrosive matter. Some corrosive matter, there is some sort of say dilute acid or alkaline solution or solution like this. If there is esophagitis, then Rhus Tox can antidote that thing. Rhus Tox for paralysis. Causation: getting feet wet, lying on damp ground after exertion, parturition, that is parturition means actually childbirth, sexual excess, typhoid. Location: any part of the body may be affected, but predominantly extremities and eyelids are affected. Paralysis, we are describing paralysis, so which part? Eyelids, this is called ptosis or eyelids paralysis. This is technically called ptosis. Sensation: numbness, prickling, itching, gone to sleep. Modalities: worse from cold rest, better from warmth movement. That is, if you just compress it with warm fermentation, dry fermentation, then it will give you some relief. Rhus Tox for diarrhea and dysentery. Causation: damp, wet weather, summer bathing with typhoid. Character of stool: watery, frothy, bloody, slimy, gelatinous, involuntary, in sleep at night, with tenesmus, mucus colitis, sometimes painful tenesmus without stool. Associated sign symptoms: dry, cracked tongue. Note the tongue. With red triangular tip. Tongue with red triangular tip. Dry mouth, throat, subject crave cold rings, milk, which worsen. Chill, nausea, vomiting, pain in stomach. Pain down posterior part of lower limbs during stool. Profuse thirst, but no appetite for food. This is a very important symptom of Rhus Tox. Profuse thirst, but no appetite for food. Rhus Tox for fever. It is used in all three types of fever: intermittent, continuous, remittent fever. Intermittent fever. Causation: getting feet wet, lying on damp ground after exertion, parturition, sexual excess, summer bathing, rainy, damp weather, exposure to cold wind. Before and during chill stage. Actually, intermittent fever had got 4 stages. 4 stages: chill, heat, sweat, and finally release. That is remissions. Now these stages will be described step by step. Before and during chill stage: dry, teasing cough with taste of blood, great thirst with dry tongue, mouth, throat, that is everything is dry, yawning and stretching, urticaria. Heat stage: corner of mouth ulcerated, fever blister around mouth, restlessness, anxiety. Sweat stage: great exhausted feeling with relief from fever. Now remittent and continuous fever like influenza, typhoid, dengue. Causation as above, but insidious in approach. That is, approach is very gradually, not abruptly. Onset along with diarrhea. During fever, restlessness, tossing in bed, like covering. That is, the patient wants that his body should be covered. Tongue cracked with rectangular tip, imprints of teeth along edge. Note, imprints of teeth along the edges. Low muttering, delirium, talks about daily occupation, fever blisters around mouth. These are already showed before. After fever, paralysis of single muscles of limb and ptosis. Rhus Tox for rheumatism. Causation: getting feet wet, residing on damp ground, excessive summer and river bathing, working with clay before thunderstorm. Location: any point, any joint, but predominantly joint on the right side. Mind it, when any acute medicine is described, for an acute disease is described, this is described in homeopathically actually 4 or 5 heading: causation, location, sensation, modality, and concomitance. These are the 5. It is described under generally 5 heading, but not always all 5 are, symptoms are there, but generally these are the steps. So causation: getting feet wet, residing on damp ground, excessive summer, river bathing, working with clay before thunderstorm. Location: any joint, but predominantly joint on right side. Sensation: limping, sprains, muscle tendon torn, bone scraped with knife, generalized soreness, palpitation of heart actually. Modalities: worse from cold, rest, initial movement, better from warmth, and continuing movement. There is no concomitant symptoms. The concomitant symptoms actually, it's a very rare symptom. The symptoms which are not related to pathology of the diseases, the peculiar symptom that is not related to diseases, but it is there. Those symptoms are called concomitant. Very important symptom for medicine selection. Rhus Tox for backache. Causation: damp, wet weather, summer bathing, residing in damp, wet place. Location: between shoulders, nape of the neck, small of the back. No, nape of the neck is this point. It is just on the starting of the cervical vertebra. From C1 to C7 cervical vertebra is there. This is possibly C2 to C3. Between this thing is called nape of the neck, and small of the back is lumbar region. Lumbar and sacral joint. Just lumbar sacral junction is the small of the back. Sensation: stiffness, numbness, soreness. Modalities: worse while sitting, lying, better from motion, lying on something hard. Concomitants: pain felt on swallowing. Now note this symptom: pain felt on swallowing. The patient is swallowing something and the pain is felt in the back. This is concomitant because there is no direct pathology of this between the swallowing and feeling of pain. And if patient report some patient of backache, some patient with backache report you this symptom that whenever I swallow something I feel pain, then you can give Rhus Tox and it will act 100%. It is 100%. Skin symptoms of Rhus Tox: dry, hot, burning, itching, stinging, swelling, worse in hairy parts, skin sensitive to cold air, eruptions, fine, vesicular, crusty, eczematous, erysipelas, and edematous more on genital region. Mind it, eczematous. This is eczematous eruptions. This is erysipelas eruptions. Urticaria or hive. This is urticaria or hive, and shingles or herpes. This is herpes. Baker's itch, a particular type of itch that is found in the hands of the baker, that is, who are working in bakery. A baker used to handle a lot of flour, say kgs, hundreds of kgs of flour every day, and in flour there is a mite. That might cause itch. This itch in the hand, that is called baker's itch. If somebody come to you and said that he is working in a baker and he used to handle 100 kgs of flour every day and report some itching condition in his head or near hands or near hand, you can give Rhus Tox. This is a very, very rare medicine. Alternate with dysentery, that is, these skin symptoms alternate with dysentery. These skin diseases are all images are I am demonstrating this for so that you can understand while treating patient what type of eruption is called what is the name.